Um, so I I held off talking about the Washington 49ers game because the Washington, they lost 37-20, and Taylor Heineke got benched. Taylor Heineke got benched for Carson Wentz, and it's been announced that Carson Wentz will be the starting quarterback moving forward, or for next week against the Browns, or this week against the Browns. I've said this before, and I'll reiterate. As a talent, Carson Wentz is better than Taylor Heineke. As God-given quarterbacking ability, Carson Wentz is better than Taylor Heineke. However, it seems like the locker room wants to play for Taylor Heineke more than they want to play for Carson Wentz. It just looks differently. But also, it's kind of like why people, when you hear people say they should bench Russell Wilson, you heard Dan Orlowski said they should bench Russell Wilson. Then you hear a lot of people say, or you hear Ryan Clark immediately say they can't do that because of how much they're paying him. They traded for Carson Wentz and fronted the bill from Indianapolis. So he's a very expensive person to just leave on the bench. Now, then another argument that I actually agree with is when we go back to Russell Wilson and said, how do you know that his backup isn't that good? Or how do you know that the Broncos' backup isn't as good as Russell Wilson is right now? And I said it's very simple. While, yes, Russell Wilson is making as much as they're making, the Denver Broncos, as a team, like a roster, is a playoff championship caliber team. And if you add, even though he's making a lot of money, if you add anybody that played the same or that played as good as or played better than Russell Wilson, they would play them because this is a championship team. And that's how you know that his backup ain't that good. The problem with Washington is, in my opinion, Taylor Heineke is looking eye to eye with Carson Wentz. I think that's more of a indictment on Carson Wentz than it is a compliment of Taylor Heineke. Kind of like Zach Wilson, I think Carson Wentz is playing for his career this year, or playing for his career these next two games. It didn't work, or the end of his Philly run was terrible. It clearly didn't work in Indianapolis, and if it doesn't work on his third team, a team that needs him, by the way, then what? Who else is going to take a flyer on Carson Wentz? The difference between Zach Wilson and Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz, this is his third stop. And it seems like everywhere he's gone has ended or looked eerily similar. Zach Wilson has only been in one place, and that's the Jets. And he's younger. But this Carson Wentz situation shines a brighter light. Shines a brighter light on Washington's quarterback situation. We just talked about the Colts situation. Listen to this. Since 2017, which was Kirk Cousins last year. Kirk Cousins is not the best quarterback at all. But if you're going to give up on a Kirk Cousins, you have to have a successful alternative. Because again, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is great, but you're seeing what he's doing with the Vikings right now. And while again, there's a difference between 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins and 4 p.m. Kirk Cousins, but that Kirk Cousins is still reliable to a certain extent. But since 2017, Washington has had Alex Smith, Josh Johnson, Colt McCoy, Mark Sanchez, Case Keenum, Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Garrett Gilbert, and now Carson Wentz. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11 quarterbacks since 2017. 12 if you want to include Kirk Cousins. So no, let's not include Kirk. Since Kirk Cousins, Washington's had 11 quarterbacks start for them. Washington has been a poverty franchise for a while now. In fact, what was the last really good Washington season? Was it RG3? Yeah, it was probably RG3. In 13, maybe 16. With Kirk Cousins. Might have been it. So I'll leave it with this. When you move Washington, just like Indianapolis did, and just like just like Philly did at the end of the run, Washington finds themselves in a very peculiar situation. Taylor Heineke's not. They put up the stats, right? And Taylor Heineke has good stats. The problem and the thing that the stats don't, really show is Taylor Heineke fumbles the ball a lot and throws a lot of very poor interceptions. Just like Carson Wentz. So Washington finds himself in a very peculiar situation. You have two options. Both of them aren't the best, but you have two options. You either A, stick with Taylor Heineke, and with that option, you feel like the locker room, the players want to play more. It seems like the players want to play more for Taylor Heineke than, even though he's not the best quarterback. So if you play Taylor Heineke, you risk maybe not putting the best quarterback out there, but you have the locker room. And Washington is in prime position to win or to at least make the playoffs. So what do you do with that? On the other option, you play Carson Wentz, who is the better-ish quarterback, but you lose some of the vigor in the locker room because it seems like a lot of players don't, and actually reports have come out, a lot of players aren't too fond to play with Carson Wentz. Both options, in my opinion, don't really offer much. And honestly, again, Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Taylor Heineke, but it hasn't produced much. There's a reason why Carson Wentz was kind of bent. Well, he got hurt, but when he was healthy, they were like, no, you're going to stay on the bench, bro. Again, I don't know, man. Washington got some decisions to make. Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.